Okay, so firstly, I'd like to say very happy Chokordujen. Chokorduchen, it's Tibetan term, Chokordujen. It means the Buddha taught first time in this earth, which we call first wheel training Dharma, right? The first training of the wheel. Yeah, first training of the wheel Dharma. That's it's today's, and then we didn't do any special ceremony for this, like a chanting prayer, but this class we can dedicate for it. Yeah, so therefore I didn't do it anything because we do have a class, something doing it, and that's much better than chanting actually. It's much better than chanting. But as we remember Buddha Shakyamuni, and then remember his kind to us, to showing us all this good path to lead us to truth, lead us to have to liberation. They're starting from Four Noble Truth. This is his first training of the Wheel Dharma. Main topic or first began topic with the Four Noble Truth, but it's not that only the topic in first Wheel Training Dharmas. And Four Noble Truth, I think first two is very scientific. The teaching, what you call, right? It's a very scientific teaching. I thought it because it talks about truth of suffering and origin of truth of suffering. And many, when you learn truth of suffering and origin of truth of suffering, there are so many there which we don't know, origin of suffering, and which we don't know what is the main source of suffering. And then also we are not identified or recognize many different suffering. Actually, it is suffering, but we not feel it is suffering. We don't know it is suffering. So this true truth is as like a very, you can think like a secular teaching. You can use exactly the secular teaching beside the karma actually. The origin of truth that has a karma and mental reflection, right? But beside the karma, all these art teachings are, you can use as secular because it's, everyone can understand, everyone can accept it, and it's happening with everyone. So the second truth, which is leading, which is like leading us up to liberation, the truth of path and truth of cessations. Yeah. So that more, I think, Buddhist, the part of Buddhist we call the religious or whatever you can think it's Buddhist, truth of cessation and truth of path. If you believe the truth of path to help you to eliminate the truth of origin of suffering, that's all be fine. But as many of them, after they learn, they accept it, they agreed. And then some found it difficult, some found it not like accurate. That's fine. That's okay. And as well as truth of cessation, that one of our goal of training the Buddhists or practicing Buddhists, right? Buddhism. Okay. So and then yeah, this is the today he taught based on his own experience. Because he saw this all suffering, therefore Buddha's looking what the path, what the remedy for the suffering and origin of suffering, or what are the origin of suffering. He is very much curious and seeking to understand those after he knows that suffering is happening with everyone. It's not just someone that we see it, right? So, and then, yeah, this is today we're learning or we're practicing for our personal, a lot of help. lot of help that to reduce the suffering and then reduce the origin of suffering. Yes. Okay. Regarding,
could we ask a question?
yeah, sure.
Du Chen. And sometimes they say Chok or Du Chen. Is that of greater or Du Chen, bigger? What is Du Chen?
Du Chen, you can translate that a great day.
Great day. Oh, because I thought Du was time.
Du is a time. The time refers to the day, right? So one of the what called day and month, year. It's a time.
Oh.
Yeah. So the great day or holiday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So as you already mentioned, the chokor. Chokor, cho is Dharma or Buddha teaching, and kor means will. Therefore, we say Buddha, the first will, the what called the first turning of the will of Dharma. Yeah. Okay. So today's our topic. It's the 4 lineages of Tibetan Buddhism, 4 major lineages. Otherwise, we have many. 4 major lineages of Tibetan Buddhism. We finished last time briefly about Nyingma tradition, and then after that it comes Kadamba lineages, and then after that Kagyu lineages will come. So I think after 200. Around 253 years that Nyingma lineage established. The Kadamba, what I was trying to say is Kadamba lineages are came after around 253 years when Nyingma lineage established. In the middle, we already talked that has what called they destroyed all dharmas, right, by King King Udum Zembo or King Lang Dharma. So almost like Buddhists not exist in Tibet. Very few are. The texts are burning, monasteries are destroyed, monks are disrupted. So very, very few are do hidely do their practice, but in generally, looks like no Buddhism in Tibet. Then slowly, after 100 and what call, after that, after destroyed the Buddhism in Tibet and then rebuild it on, I think, after 108 or 109 years. And then still Kadamba is not started there. Kadamba is not beginning at that time. Still some what call the monastery vows. We call liberation, individual liberations vows. So some monastery vows are start to begin to start to share to others, to give to others. But the same that now not big monastery, there are no big Sangha group, but started at the time. And then you can think like after around 200, then Kadamba master, because who invite Kadamba, right? The one of the king region, Changjubu, right? Yeshiva and Changjubu. Yeshiva actually sacrificed for inviting Adisha to Tibet, and Changjubu is his brother, and he complete his brother's aim to invite Adisha. It's around like after that around 200 years, after 200 years, which after destroyed the Buddhism in Tibet. So then after invite Adisha, and then the Kadamba lineage started. So, but as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to talk the Kadamba lineage with the Gelugpa lineage together. I'm not taking separate time, But I'm mentioning here, you might have misunderstood between Kadamba and Kagyuba, right? The two terms here, Kadamba, both has a ka at the beginning, right? Ka is the same, exactly same. Ka means exactly same. Therefore, it might be confuse you. Therefore, just clarifying this in order to understand Kagyuba, right? Okay, so therefore here from the textbook, say Kadamba, what does mean Kadamba? Earlier Lama discussed the etymology of Kadam variously, but when Rinpoche Tsongkhapa asked Chengawa Rinchen Pel, Rinpoche Lama Tsongkhapa, right? Then he asked to Chengawa Rinchen Pel. Chengawa Rinchen Pel is one of his disciple. And what is the meaning of Kadam? Then Chengawa replied, without omitting even a single letter, what called na, or single letter whatever, right? This is the one of the letter na or a or ka, right? Single letter from the word of the conqueror. One take its personal instructions. Every single word, single letter are to thinking it's instructed, personal instructed is instructions. That's Kadamba, all ka. Ka is literally actually saying the Buddha's teaching is a ka, right? And all this, every single Buddha's teachings, even Buddha's talks different separately to the different disciple or different meaning to based on different disciple or different capacity. But every single teachings are thinking that personal instructions. That's Kadamba meanings, right? That, okay. Let me finish that one then. Damgak. Rinpoche was very pleased and said, "This is right. That's right. That's right." So he went to monastery and said, Geshe Rinchen Pel has given me a present of the Holy Dharma, or inspired to me. That means like inspired to me. What he said is correct. Meaning of the Kadamba, right? Thus it is called Kadam because the entire content, without exceptions of the Buddha word, ka or whatever, the three Pitaka, is included in Adisha's instructions on the stage of the path of the three person, so that one can put them into practice according to Dromtenpa. Okay, and then Dromtenpa, yeah, according to Dromtenpa say also, the wonderful word ka is the first letter of our alphabet, right? Continent, right? Consonant. The wonderful word ka is the three Pitaka, and any being who counts on the precious golden rosary of the Kadam, which is beautiful by instructions, on the three person will found success. Okay, so that's the Kadamba meaning. Okay, so if you know what is the meaning of the Kadamba, then later on when we explain what mean Kagyuba, Kagyu, that will help you to have different meaning on that, even it has the same letter Ka, right? So next one, I just put it there to understand every single lineage is how establishing. And when we, actually it's very difficult to say exactly the day and month that start each lineage, right? So they have some kind of beginning time. The beginning times are not counting as that lineages started, right? So therefore, at understanding that part, as I put it here, it is stated in this and other passages. History, how the extraordinary Gatam order arose. It began with the noble lord, the glorious Adisha. Dromtenpa Rinpoche blessed the troll for it. the three brother Geshe Podowa, Geshe Chengawa, Geshe Puchungwa made it widespread. Okay, there are three kind of things. It's one who's began it, started, and second one is blaze it. The blaze it means kind of like a.
So like someone starts the point of the trail, and
yeah, yeah. So the blaze the trail, and then others are widespread and established. So same like in Nyingmaba. So Pema Sambawa is began it, and then Pema Sambawa is not complete everything. All this teaching and instruction and initiation, everything is not completed at the time. Few years cannot be completed, right? So he began this the Nyingma lineages, and then after that Bhairava and all this like king and the ministers and other Indian masters comes one by one, and translate everything. That's how started to Nyingma lineage. And then same at the Kagyupa, Marpa is the who began the Kagyupa. Actually, before Marpa, I think Kyutup Kyungbulheba is one of the Tibetan scholar who went to India to take many instruction from it. So, so he and Marpa began the Kagyupa lineage tradition, and then after that Milarepa are like blazed the trail for it, and then Chichigambuba and Rechungba, all these followers, Milarepa's disciples are what called widespread. It's these trees are goes with all lineages, you know, because it's not that we build a big house and now we have lineage started, right? Lineage is not that simple way to start it. So lineages is giving instruction, and then some are like it and they follow it, and good groups are getting more and more bigger, and then they continues practicing. Still they're not asking we could make some group, you know. It's all this comes automatically, right? Then there are more followers, and then slowly they think, okay, we should build monastery, we should build some kind of learning center for it. So they build it. So that's how the each lineage started, right? So therefore, it's the beginning time. What my thought is, it's not really counted that each lineage is like started at the time. I mean, like it counted that lineages. This is let's for example again, the Pema Sambawa, he came to Tibet and he teaches us more Tantra and other teachings are at the time not really say Nyingma is started, right? It comes later. Yeah, I try. What I try to explain here that each lineage is how when it's beginning, when how we need to know how we know that it's a begin or start means, right? And then it's a beginning, but still not call its lineages like a Kagyu lineage, Kadam lineage, Nyingma lineage, Sakya lineage, Gilug lineage is not counted. So that each lineage's name come way later. They make their group. First, one master give some wonderful instruction, and they get more followers, and they think, okay, we should give us some name of our group, or we should build a monastery, and we should have more branches on this monastery. That's how lineages are started, not the one day, not the same day when he started teaching. That's the lineage. It's not really counted that lineage started, okay? So they have a beginning time, the begin time, then there are like a blessing time, and there are like a more widespread and establishing time, okay? Therefore, beginning time, I don't think they really counted at that each lineages. They did really not give the name of the lineages as we counting today, Kagyupa, right? And Nyingmaba or Sakyaba Gilupa, okay. So that's the good to know actually. in order to learning these lineages are. Okay, now we're going to start from the Kagyuba lineage, and then at first we should know what mean Kagyuba, the term Kagyuba, right? Okay. In the Tilgen master said in his textbook, Tilgen is a Gelugpa scholar and practitioner that we found translated in English, his book, talking about his all lineages, right? So he mentioned here, in some later Drukpa Kagyu readings, Drukpa Kagyu, one of the scholar I can maybe Drukpa Pemakabu or some other Drukpa Kagyu. So Drukpa Kagyu ratings, which only consider them that Marpa, Melarepa, and Lingripa wear white garment, and it is written as Kargyuba. It's not the Kagyuba. Kar as a ra, it's kind of like an R sound there. Kar. Kar means in Tibetan white. So the Marpa and Melarepa, they wear the white cloth as their lineages. Then they think it's not Kagyuba, it's a Kargyuba, because the lineages founder are wearing the white cloth. Kargyuba. Gyuba is lineage, Kar is white lineages. Yeah. So, but you can continue saying here, but the consensus is that it is Kagyu, oral lineage, not the white lineage. Since Kagyubas are upholder of the instruction lineage, of the special oral, the tradition, they are known as such. Okay, so upholder of the instruction lineage. So now here, the Ka is instruction, as the same earlier, we talked it, the Buddha taught, or all this instruction. And Gyuba is like an upholder of the lineages, upholder of the instructions. But earlier it's not that, right? Kadamba is different. Kadamba meaning is all these instruction, even in single words, are instructed to one person practice, right? Principle one person. So therefore, I hope you got clear, understand difference between Kadamba and Kagyuba. Okay. So, and then the Kagyu are twofold, upholder of the lineage of Marpa and upholder of the lineage of Kyungpa. Kyungpa is, as I mentioned, one of the Tibetan scholar who went to India. So Kyungpa born in 990, and then he, I think, stayed 105 or 106 years. So he, the parinirvana or passed away on 1139. So Kyungpa. So, and then Marpa, I think it's, where's the, it's not really clear here. Okay, I think Marpa born in 10th century, is it, 10, yeah, 112, and then passed away in 1121 years. So this is the Marpa and Kyungpa lineage. But the Kyungpa, Kyungpa, before he do that Kagyuba lineage, the practice, he actually studied Bonpo tradition, which is the first religion in Tibetan. The Bon tradition, he studied it, is not satisfied with it. Then after that, he also study and practice that Nyingma Dzogchen, and he also not satisfied with it. Then he went to India. Niguba, sometimes say it's in Naropa's concert. Someone saying it's Naropa's sister, but I don't know. Niguba, he has she has some tantras, tantric teaching, and then Kyungpo Lheba went there, and then Kyungpo Lheba is actually in so west of Tibet. He born in west of Tibet. Both Marpa is in West Tibet, right? So and then he went to there and then received this whole teaching of 6 Niguba Dharma, and then also they received many initiation and instructions. And he came back to Tibet, and also he I think he special for Mahakala, the practitioner. He received directly that the Mahakalas, the instruction from Mahakala, right? So okay, anyhow, so Kyungpa and Marpa are there are 2 lineages. So which is the Marpa lineages are called Kagyu, which comes later, and then Kyungpa lineage is called Shangpa Kagyu, right? It comes later there. Okay, the lineages here, Marpa, which is Dharma Kagyu, had the instruction of the special oral tradition that comes from Vajradhara. The Buddha and Vajradhara is exactly same. Who taught Tantra, we call it Vajradhara, right? But it is Buddha. When he taught like a sutra, we call it Buddha, not the Vajradhara, but it is Vajradhara. So Vajradhara and Buddha is like a, the one person has a different name or different title because there are different activities. When one person, when he taught about Tantra, that we call Vajradhara, because when he taught Tantra, he had to be like some kind of different form, some kind of enjoyment bodies or enjoyment bodies, like a Buddha's enjoyment body, sometime with the concept, sometime without concept, but it has to be some kind of different form, which is all this ornament and we call it enjoyment body. That's how to be manifested that way. And then when we taught Sutra as a Buddha Shakyamuni, he came to India. It's not bhikshu form, right? It's not the adorned by all these ornaments, not like this. It's like a simple with the saffron robes and then nothing hold anything with being simple. That's the Buddha Shakyamuni. It's the bhikshu is eminent as more like a bhikshu form. We call it great nirmana kayas. Anyhow, the Buddha form, the bhikshu form that he taught sutra. So this is more suitable for people, right? Okay, so therefore Vajradhara, Buddha is the same. Different activities, the different teachings that call different name because it has to be different form, manifested different form. Okay. So, and then now regarding the talking about Tantra right here, Tantra, therefore a special oral tradition that comes from Vajradhara through the Deloba. Deloba is one of the Indian scholar. It says here 10th century. And then Naropa is also disciple of Theropa. It's also the lineages, continuous lineages. It's not the direct lineages, it's more indirect lineages. Then, so after that Dharma lineage are called Kagyu. So Marpa received all this oral tradition, like initiation, oral transmission, all these commentary and explanations directly from Naropa. Marpa received directly from Naropa. So then that is how lineages comes. Then Marpa to Milarepa and Milarepa to. If you have a book that also have a long list on their lineages. Okay. This is the Dabu Kagyu, and then after that, Kirup Chungbo have Kirup Chungbo, which is another lineage we call Shangpa Kagyu, right? So in addition, the scholar David Chungpa had the instruction of the special oral traditions that drifts from the two wisdom dakinis. Dakinis is some kind of it's not angel, it's a kind. Sometimes dakini could be deities, sometimes dakini is not necessarily deities. What dakini is translated in English?
It's a weird translation. Angels, fairies.
Most people use dakini. Okay, better use dakini because I don't think it has a translation in English. We can't translate it. So angel is not suitable. It's different than angel. So okay, the two wisdom dakinis and other. So the upholder of that lineage are also declared to be Kagyubas. Thus, Kagyuba is twofold: Shangpa Kagyu and the Dabu Kagyu. Okay, so the Shangpa Kagyu start from Kyungbu nature, and then I think it's remaining around 300 years. Then I don't think right now we do have who holding that lineages today. And then also book says that the Shangpa Kagyu is remain until like around 300 start and then the ending, right? So, but it's a Dabu Kagyu getting more popular. Dabu Kagyu is more divided and then also the more getting popular right now. The Kagyu, what we're talking here, the Kagyu lineage is more lineages from Dabu Kagyu. And Dabu Kagyu is the main in Tibet is from Marpa, right? So, and then, yeah, Shangpa Kagyu and Dabu Kagyu. Now see, the internal division of Dabu Kagyu has the 4 greater and the 8 lesser school. The inner, the Kagyuba has a 4 greater and then 8 lesser school. The 8 lessers are the branches of, I think, the Patu Kagyu, the last one, 4th one. So let me read the first, what the 4 greatest school, Kagyu School, are the Karma Kagyu, founded by one of the 3 men from Kham, Dusum Khenpa. Dusum Khenpa is the Kamapa Dusum Khenpa, I think is the first Kamapa reincarnations, the first ones. And then now I think 17, right? The Dusum Khenpa. So he started, but here, right, the Karma Kagyu is first, but I don't think this is the order exactly their lineages split it, right? Okay, anyhow, that's one graded scholar is the Karma Kagyu, and another is Baram Kagyu, founded by the Baram Dharma Wanchu. Again, it's Tibetan, and Telpa Kagyu, founded by the Lama Shang Telpa Sundrujakpa, that's his name, and Pagdu Kagyu, that founded by the Pagmudrupa, another of the 3 men of the Kham. Okay, so these 4 are the greatest Kagyu. Again, these are actually the inner division within Dakpo Kagyu, nothing to do with the Shangpo Kagyu. It's a Dakpo Kagyu. All these the greater and lesser school belongs to Dakpo Kagyu. Okay. I think the Kagyu has within these lineages in Tibet, the Kagyu has more branches, more devotion in more internal devotions there. So Nyingma is not really divided by different like an oral tradition, different oral translation, maybe villages like the Nyingma in Kam, Nyingma in Amdo, Nyingma in Uzang, something like that. Yeah, that sometime the head lama, which is like here we have big Nyingma monastery and the head lamas. Then they call this monastery named by the head lama who founded this monastery. But still, they are not really different as like we have Kagyuba. And then same Kadamba do not have that, never have branches like this, inner divisions. But inner division means the Kadamba has a kind of like a three who more follow just meditating and oral instruction, and one group study more, the follow to more study it, and then one group follow more Lamrim. There are kind of like a three group there. So, but not like this one. And then same Sakya has a two, but anyhow, okay. The Kagyuba has the lineages that who have more division, inner divisions. Okay. So some are exit today, some are not exit. Okay. Okay, now see here, the 8 leisure school, right? Actually, the Dakpo Kagyu, let's see, we say Shangpa Kagyu and Dakpo Kagyu, because I try to explain this all, the inner devotions belongs to Dakpo Kagyu, right? So Dakpo Kagyu it's began by Marpa, but Marpa is not who given this name, Dakpo Kagyu. So Dakpo Kagyu, Dakpo means one of the Milarepa's disciple, one of the Milarepa's main disciple, Dakpo Hache. So he was doctor, therefore we call Hache, and then born in as a Dakpo. So his name is Dakpo Hache. That he start the monastery and group and written the textbook. That lineage is called Dakpo lineages because I think meant his name, one of the Milarepa's main disciple, right? Rechungpa and Dakpopa. Milarepa has many disciples, right? Gambopa, Rechungpa, Dakpopa. So Dakpo Hache is the who given them, not really given name, but his disciple give name based on his like his name, right? Dakpo. So this is how Dakpo Kagyu is started. Repeatedly saying Marpa and Milarepa not giving this name because this name is directly related with one of the Milarepa's disciple. Okay, so then it's more divisions, more split it inside. Okay, and Dakpo Hache, I think he born same around like Milarepa, Marpa, but he established monastery as guided by Milarepa in Tibet in 1121 years. That's it, 1121 year, right?
What year?
1121, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Now there are like 8 laser school appears due to the 8th great student of Pakwan Drupa. Yeah, this is said. It's actually that's lasers are split from this one, not the first three. I don't know. I read the few book. I didn't read the whole book, right? There are many. There might have a mini book that I didn't see it, but so far, yes. This is the laser school are the inner division within the Pagdu Kagyu. Okay, Pagmunduba, as I said, right? Okay, Jigun Kagyu, founded by Gyoba Jigden Gombo. Gyoba Jigden Gombo is the who is founded. Jigun Kagyu, in West, in America, so far I know that their center is in Virginia. Virginia has one center, the Jigun Kagyu. Sometime that the Lama's name, who's this? Who always hold the money wheel? Garchin Rinpoche, yeah. Garchin Rinpoche visit there sometime. And Jigun Kyabgun is, I think he's in France or where?
He's definitely French.
Yeah, yeah. He's in French. So Jigun Kyabgun is 2 days like I think head of the Jigun Kagyu. So, but it's founded by Gyoba Jigden Gombo. And Taklung Kagyu by Taklung, so Tangpa Tashi Palten. So one of the Taklung Madhu Rinpoche is very kind to Gilupa, but this is some issue there. So kindness, right? Very kind to. Okay, anyhow. So Taklung Kagyu founded by the Taklung Taputashi Palden. So Taklung Rinpoche, I think he's in Dharamsala right now. Who's the head of this the lineage? And then Chobu Kagyu, founded by Drogon Gyalta. I don't know where is it. And Drukpa Kagyu. Drukpa Kagyu, I think what is Drukpa Kagyu's today's his name? The one. Yeah, sometimes most of people use the Gyawang Drukpa. I don't know his full name, Gyawang Drukpa. He's the head now. So he has a monastery in Nepal. The nunneries are practicing Kung Fu, karate, right? So has a different head. He's very well known in Bhutan, and he's very well known in Ladakh, in India, Ladakh. And I think his main monastery in Nepal. So I think he's also the Europe, right? Yeah, he's in Europe. Yeah, yeah, Drukpa Kagyu. Okay. So Jigme Pema mentioned his name. That's said it. Like he right now head of this Drukpa Kagyu lineage, and Marsang Kagyu. Marsang Kagyu, I don't know who is the lineage right now. Marsang Kagyu founded by Chuji Marpa Dundrup. It's not Marpa. That's Marpa Lotsawa. It's different. Okay, Marpa translated Marpa Lotsawa. Chugi Lodru. That's our main, the Kagyu like a main founder's name. My main like one's name is the Marpa Chugi Lodru, right? Now he has a Chuji Marpa Dundrup. That's different. Okay, so don't be confused on that. And Yalpa Kagyu, founded by Yalpa Ishitsek, and Yasa Kagyu by the Sarawa Ishitsenge, and Shungsep Kagyu by Nipu Gyargum Chembo. So the last four are, I'm not really familiar with it. Maybe exists, maybe not. I'm not familiar. Shungsep, I heard it. Shungsep, I heard it. So, but the Marsang, Yalba, Yasang, I didn't hear in India, maybe in Tibet, they might have their group. So, okay, anyhow. Okay, these are the kind of like inner division or branches of the Tapu Kagyu. Now next. The Tapu Kagyu arose from Marpa Lotsawa. Lotsawa means translator, right? In Tibetan, it's Lotsawa. Lotsawa actually, it's a Sanskrit. We're not completely translated in Tibet. Still using same as Sanskrit name, as like I say, lotus we call Pema is Sanskrit name, right? So Marpa Lotsawa is still we use as Sanskrit. Chugiloto is the main name. And then initially he started translation with Dromi. Dromi is one of Tibetan who knows both the Sanskrit and of course the Tibetan, know the Tibetan very well, right? Dromi Gelsen, that's just, he studied from well. And then later he went to India 3 times and to Nepal 4 times. So it's a simple way to say he went to India 3 times. But if you imagine there are no train, no car, no the big road, there are nothing road, right? So there are no hotel in the middle, no rest room in the middle. All this forest, most of our Tibetan translators went to India like a very difficult way. They have to carry everything what they have to eat it in until they reach to Nepal and then India, right? The most of translators went to Nepal, then go to India. Went to India through by Nepal. So it is very difficult to cross all this road to India. So it's all forest, the thick forest. It has many danger by wild animal, and then different like a natural disaster, right? So therefore, when it's a 3 times went to India, I don't think it's a very simple way, okay? Not today. So he went to India 3 times and to Nepal 4 times. He made 108 gurus. Gurus mean teachers who were scholar and adept, right? The great Pandit Naropa. Pandit means scholar. Again, Indian, the Sanskrit term, Pandit. Sometimes we use it in Tibetan also, Pandit. It's a Sanskrit term. The great Pandit means scholar. It's not just scholar. Pandit is not just, again, today we call it specialist, right? The specialist, not that special, holistic scholar. That's what we need to know. Not the specialist scholar. It's a holistic. Yeah, it's a holistic scholar. So that we call Pandit. Okay, the great Pandit Naropa he's not just scholar. He great practitioner. He great attainment, achievement. Have a lot of good quality. Almost Buddha, right? Enlightened. So I mean, like when he met the Marpa, at that time, I don't know if he's enlightened or not, but today, yes, he's enlightened, completely enlightened. So great Pandit Naropa, and then Lord Mitreba is another Indian scholar, and then glorious, what called? Jnanagarbha, the great adept Shandibatra, and others. Some texts are saying also Marpa met Adisha. I don't know. Adisha came to Tibet, I think, around 1045, right? And Marpa is 1012 up to 1097. I don't know. It's like a more matching or not matching that. But some textbooks said it. Marpa also met Adisha in India. But Adisha he parinirvana in Tibet, right? Okay, anyhow, great adept Shandibatra and others. He trained in detail in the explanation and special instruction, as well as the, what called? Prasics? Oh, okay. How you read it? Praxis?
Praxis, P-R-A-X-I.
Uh-huh.
is praxis.
Praxis, okay. As well as the practice, I don't know the meaning, but I try to read it. As well as the practice related to the yogas of the father and mother tantra. Okay. And I don't know, maybe you might be curious again, what is the father tantra and mother tantra? Or you mentioned here, okay. So I will put it in a question, okay? If you have a question, let me ask. You ask to me. So the yogas of the father and mother tantras, such as Guya Samaja and other, through his reliance on Mitripa, he gained an ultimate realization of Mahamudra. The Mahamudra lineage, actually, he directly received from Mitripa, and he said, again, when he realized it, he realized, I mean, like, he realized Mahamudra means the emptiness, ultimate realization of Mahamudra. When he returned to Tibet, he developed many disciples, the chief of whom were known as the four great pillars, which is Ngotun, Chukudorji, Sudunonge, and Medun Tumpa, and Melarepa. So each has, again, their own responsibility, their own upholder, their different type of instruction. Okay. Actually, Ngotun, Chukudorji, and Sudunonge is more responsibility to split the teaching, the Kagyu teaching to others, or more teaching to others. And then Malareba is more practicing and then showing to how to practice. And then instead of teaching, he shows more practice. That's his responsibility. So that's my understanding so far. Okay. Okay. So up to here, I try to explain what is mean Kagyuba and how many different lineages in there, and then who are there, and then so this one, what I wrote in Tibet, I don't know I can translate or not. What is here? Why the reason of the divided or like a spread inner many different branches. The reason of many branches is not that the practice are different. The practice are same, but some are they emphasize on individual, some kind of individual practice. Therefore, it's become some kind of branches like that. But all are doing all practice. Maybe I think they must be right. So, but they emphasize on individual, some kind of individual practice. Therefore, it's become like more inner branches like this. So these are the reason for that, which is one of the Dharma history by Taglung Ngawan Namgyal. Taglung Ngawan Namgyal is again the one of Kagyuba monastery, Kagyuba master, right? He composed one of the textbook for Dharma history, so he wrote on that. Okay. Now, almost there. Okay, now here, try to practice as to present that the presentation of view, meditation, and contact. Contact sometimes as behaviors. It's a morality. So view, meditation, contact. Contact means you can think morality. Okay, of the Kagyuba. What is the Kagyuba's morality and meditation and view? So they say the view, their main view is Mahamudra. The main view is Mahamudra, and the part of meditation is 6 Dharma of Naropa, and then morality or contact are the 6 circling of equalizations of test. That's what they say. Okay. Now, Again, you might need to know. We don't have to explain like a way of Mahamudra. Actually, way of Mahamudra, there are a few different ways to practice, right? But it is. Okay, let me read here. The four yogas Mahamudra, the path of Mahamudra described by the Kagyu School consisting of 4 levels of practice, each being called a yoga. The first level is one-pointedness, and then the yoga of one-pointedness, right? The second is the freedom from elaborations, and then the yoga of, they call yoga of free from elaborations. The third is one test, the same, the yoga of one test. And then fourth is non-meditations, the yoga of non-meditations. That's how practice Mahamudra. If we need more detail, that we have to read their textbook. And then what are the 6 Dharma of Naropa, which is their meditation on the 6 Dharma of Naropa, right? 6 Dharma of Naropa, all this actually related with Tantra, okay? That's clear. It's related with Tantra. They do Mahamudra, even like a Nyingma Dzogchen, they do more Tantra practice. Dzogchen do their more with the Tantra practice. Mahamudra here also Tantra practice. So therefore their meditation is 6 Dharma of Naropa. This is Tantra practice, which they call inner heat. Inner heat, sometimes people call Kundalini. I don't know, we have a big different Kundalini than other, like Hinduism also, I think, talks about Kundalini. But the same terms, people, Kandali, Chandali. Okay, usually the people call Kundalini. So, but they're big different. People say, I'm doing Kundalini practice. Do you know that? So, and then what it is, Kundalini belongs to the Buddhism? Yes, yes. Then when I hear it, no, it's not. So, okay, the heat, the inner heat, same as like Kundalini, they were taught, and illusory body, and dreaming yoga, okay, and dreaming, and luminosity, which is clear light, we call, and then ejection of consciousness, we call poa, right? And then also pardo. But the pardo is not the root instruction. The first 4 are the root. Actually, 4 and pardo is not the root. Root instructions. Inner heat, illusory body, dreaming, luminosities. These 4 are the root instructions, and then 4 and pardo just come in a little bit. It's kind of like the side practice. But these are the 6 now. 6 Naropa. The 6 Dharma of Naropa. And then we all lineages do this practice as we do Tantra practice, right? We do this. And then it says contact or morality, the 6 cycles of equalizations of test. What are they? So they said here, the first is carrying discursive thought into the path, carrying discursive thought into the path, or distraction thought into the path. And then second is carrying affliction into the path. These are the morality practice, okay? And then carrying sickness into the path, and then carrying gods and demons into the path. And then carrying unsatisfaction or suffering into the path, and then carrying death into the path. This all is you can find in the mind training. As well, beautiful mind training. Okay, so these are the main Kagyupa's main view morality, and meditations. You know, each lineage is a little bit different instructions, their view. As we Nyingma, we learned what their view is Dzogchen's, right? And then the morality and meditations are part a little bit different explanations. I'm talking about Dzogchen Nyingma, and then morality part are same as like they are all this as same as like a lamrim, right? Okay, so the six circling articulation of test mean that these are the Kagyuba's main practice. Okay, so now I want to share a little bit of my thought. I didn't see, while I'm reading this book and then researching and then thinking on that, some thoughts comes in my mind. I want to share it. It's not necessary to write or record. So, because it's just my thought. And I didn't see these thoughts in book. Therefore, the lineages in Tibet, Nyingma, Kadamba, Kagyu, Sakya, Giluk, all these lineages, why the lineages, different lineages comes? I'm thinking on that actually. See, and when we look at their history, the first, when Buddhism widespread or established strongly in Tibet, at the time, as we already taught, the Shandarakshita and Pema Sambhava is the main teacher, talks on that. Shandarakshita shares all this logic and view things, and then Pema Sambhava, which is the founder of the Nyingma lineage, talks more Tantra. It's not like in audience, it's individually talks to Tantra to like a king and his minister and who have qualified to study Tantra. That's then Pema Sambhava taught, and their followers wants to complete that Tantra. Therefore, they went to India again, invite Birosana and another scholar to study more about Tantra, because the Pema Sambhava started, and these are the powerful person in Tibet. They are king, and they all ministers are to who very much likes to Buddhism, and then they get more interesting on Tantra as Pema Sambhava taught to them. Therefore, they're more emphasized to learning and study Tantra. And after the Buddhism destroyed in Tibet, right? Within 8th century, the beginning of 8th century, you can say 841 or 842. This year, the Buddhism is completely destroyed, right? Completely destroyed. Then, how much left over that's original textbook, we never know. But the Lama Yeshiva and Chanjuwe, which is the region of the king of who destroyed Tibet, their son and their son, right? So, so that Lama Yeshiva actually, at that time, people are still, they do Tantra practice, but they are more interesting on like a kind of like a black magic and so on, not the pure Tantra practice, which is leading to achieving enlightenment, which is not pure Tantra practice. At the time, people do Tantra practice, but they are not pure Tantra practice. What is mean, which cannot lead them to achieve enlightenment, but still consider Tantra practice more black magic and harming to others, so on and so on. So that one paragraph I will read from Pavlonga textbook, what the time happening is. Yeah, Chopo will help me to read it.
Patsun Jamchubu resolves earnestly to fulfill his uncle's aims and to conduct a policy of skillful means that would eliminate the numerous crude practices promulgated as Mantrayana Buddhism by the red-robed Acharya, the reputed Pandit known as the Blue-Skirted One, the 18 robber monks, and others. Then he prayed to the triple gem, performed divinations, and made astrological calculations to find a suitable emissary to invite the Lord to Tibet. It was determined that this responsibility should fall to Natsu Lobsang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at the time, the Hazun Chanchu, who was the original king, he really not happy with this Tantra practitioner, and he's not it's not think it's accurate to. It's not. He's not think it's very benefiting to all Tibetan people and others. Therefore, he started to do something newly, right? Therefore, he sent many the intelligence youngs to Kashmir and India to learning Sanskrit as Rinchen Losawar Rinchen Sangbo, come back and many translate. He translated many Sutra and Tantra into Tibet, which is we call new translations. So it starts from actually Lama Yeshiva, right? And then also he really wants to invite great scholar, great practitioner from India, because this is the source of our Tibetan Buddhism. So, and then he knows that Adisha is so far very famous and great. And then Adishas have a special connection with the Tibetan people, karmically connections. So, because one thing is, you look at the another side, he really don't like at the time people do what the Tantra practice are. Because it's not really pure instructions are there. And there he couldn't find the great practitioner in Tibet who doing Tantra practice. If he saw, then why he really work hard and why he have to sacrifice to invite Adisha from India to Tibet. He sacrificed, right? Instead of he sacrificing his goal to give to this all built monastery and then let them teach to Tantra or so on, that he can do it. But he couldn't find this Tantra practice are pure. And then also benefiting it. But I'm not saying at the time every single Tantra and single Tantra practice are not benefiting it. I'm not saying that. There are many Nyingma practitioners there, right? But majority, people get more interesting on black magic and so on, that this is part of Tantra, but it's kind of like harming us, each other. You can understand through by when the Mellor was biography or Mellor was history, right? You can understand by it. So therefore, he wrote the letter to I don't know, to someone. Within this letter, it's clearly said that thus Tantra practice are not occurs. It's not benefiting people. Tibetan. We must to bring the great teaching, which is really benefiting to benefit to Tibetan people, as like the what called great uncle, what called their father and father, Sons and Gambo. Great grandfather, let's call it. Yeah, the Sons and Gambo is like Sons and Gambo and his grandfathers are did a great job in Tibet to translate, build monastery, build the monks and so on. So they do many things, right? Yeah, forefathers is called great fathers.
Forefathers is like people came before me that held kind of the same position.
Okay.
Either lineage familial or by station.
Oh, okay. Anyhow, this is one of his lineages, right? That they did it, therefore he think that's his thing, his responsibility to do it. So therefore he sacrificed to invite Adisha to Tibet. And then his younger brother, Yeshiva, complete his aim, right? And then when, after Adisha came to Tibet, Yeshiva, what recurs to Adisha to teach? Again, I'm going to ask the Chapel to read some paragraph from Papangate's book. But Yeshiva it's the requesting teaching anything to Adisha is instructed by his brother Lama Changchugwe, right? Sorry, Yishiwe is the brother, and Changchugwe, yeah, Changchugwe is the younger brother, and then Yishiwe is elder brother. So the Changchugwe is completing his and asking Adisha to teach based on instructed by his brother Yishiwe. So now you listen carefully, very inspiring and very good meaning. After Adisha comes what he requests to teaching.
Sometime later, Lama Changchugwe addressed the Great Lord in the following manner. In bygone days, the three Dharma King patriarchs were able to establish the Buddha's teaching in this northern land of snow at the cost of hardships too numerous to count. After the persecution carried out by Landharma, Buddhism was reestablished in Tibet by my own forefathers, the Dharma Kings of Unruly, who ignored all concern for life or limb. Still, some individuals reject the Vinaya system based on their preference for the Mantrayana teachings, while others reject the Mantrayana teachings because of their bias towards the Vinaya system. Thus, Sutrayana and Mantrayana teachings are held to be as opposite as hot and cold, and individuals follow any practice they like. In particular, two teachers known as the red-robed Acharya and the blue-skirted one have propagated the practices of quote-unquote union and quote-unquote liberation to long-haired adherents of Tantra, causing Buddhism to degenerate into an extremely low state. As he described these events in detail, the king's eyes filled with tears. Then he made the following supplication. Compassionate Lord, there is no need to teach us, your unruly Tibetan disciples, a dharma that is extremely profound or eerie. I beg you to nurture us with an instruction that reveals the cause and effect nature of karma. In particular, O Lord, I beseech you to hold us in your compassion by teaching a dharma which you yourself have mastered, one which brings together all the Conquerors' teachings of Sutra and Tantra together with their respective commentaries. Moreover, it should contain the complete and unerring path, be easy to practice, and benefit all the people of Tibet.
Yeah, so that's why he recurs to Adisha. Please teach us which is benefit to Tibet based on understanding karmic cause and effect. Never ask to give us initiation, never ask to give us Tantra practice. Very kind at that time. All the dharmas is messed up and they're forgetting what is the fundamental of Dharma practice. And then they are really do like so many misconception, misunderstanding, misdharma practice, many mess up that time. So, and wow, you can see all this Kadamba masters teaching. Almost you will not found the Tantra practice. Either they might say, okay, generating bodhicitta, all this mind training, look at the generating bodhicitta, and try to realize emptiness, cultivate compassion, and in like a serenity or like a shamatha, or like try to realize impermanent, all this Sutrayana practice. You can find almost 90% you can find in Kadamba masters with their reading, they found the Sutrayana practice. That's the how Changchugwe requested, and Adisha started, and then disciples are split it. It's a great benefit. What we can learn from this, right? We are, as a beginner, no Tantra, so not really. Oh, anyhow, okay. So these are actually and then he requested, and then Kadamba masters are teaching on that. Then after Marpa and Milarepa and Khyungpa, all these practitioners and great scholars are carrying or bringing more Tantra practice into the Tibet. It's totally the time by time, exactly the feeling of which is the missing things in Tibet, on the time, right? So because the Kadamba, earlier we have a Tantra practice which is pure, which is Pema Sambhava has taught us, all this. After that, a majority is a mess up. Then there are many misconceptions and misunderstandings there. And therefore, it's they think now to give more basic and fundamental practice to Tibetan people. As well, they're giving and they're bringing, thinking as general Tibetan people, but automatically they become one group and one category, say Kadamba, you know. So, and then after that, Marpa and Milarepa bringing more Tantra practice into Tibet, which is like a clear and pure are. Right now, all these lineages, Sagya, Gelugpa, I don't know how much affected the Nyingma, but the after Kagyupa, it's a Sagya and Gelugpa is after Kagyupa. That's, we doing Guhya Samaja Tantra practice because of the Marpa. We do have a translation at the Lord's Origins and we translated many books, but Marpa also continues translated many Tantra books. And also not just his study, he went to bringing all oral instruction, initiations, this all practice part of the bringing into Tibet and then fill it up that we have empty spaces, which is we missing in Tibet, which is necessary in Tibet. You know, that's exactly time. But and then I think in Marpa and that Khyungpa bringing that all Tantra practice into Tibet for Tibetan people, but again, it's automatically become a one category, say Kagyupa. So, and then their followers could be some follow could be messed up, right? So anyhow, so this is how that comes. And then after that, they what called Sagya will come. Again, they're bringing many, like the teaching and oral traditions, which is we're missing things. They fill it up again, which we need all. At the end, Lama Tsongkhapa came. What I'm thinking is Lama Tsongkhapa concluded all this teaching, you know, Nyingma, Kagyu, Sagya. His main teachers are from all lineages. We have teacher, right? You have teacher from Nyingma, you have teacher from Kadamba and Kagyu and Sagya. So kind of he's concluded to compose the Lamrim textbook, which can say, yes, now this is the all we concluded. To both Tantra and Sutra practice has to be done by one person, or one person should do both Tantra and Sutra practice, but in orderly, like as a Lamrim, not jump there and there, based on Adisha's instruction. So that's how I thought. So each lineage are filling up which has empty spaces regarding Buddhism, which is important and necessary in Tibetan people. And Lama Tsongkhapa comes in the final is concluded, put it all together, and then give us that all these oral instructions. That's just one I thought, how lineages comes, right? And another thing, sometime, like say, Marpa is very much, the Marpa Milarepa and Khyungpa, they are their principal practice are doing Tantra practice. Then their disciples are thinking, our master are the Tantra practice, the principle, and Sutra practice is preliminary practice. It is true, even today, Sutra practice is preliminary practice, Tantra practice is principal practice, true for achieving enlightenment as a based on Mahayana tradition, right? It is true. But what we missing out? As we're thinking it's a preliminary, then they think, oh yeah, I don't have to spend too much in a preliminary practice because I will not get a time for actual practice. Therefore, I should do Dzogchen practice. I should do Mahamudra practice. That I do like a Tantra practice instead of emphasizing on do Sutra practice. Then they are not really spending, I'm not saying everyone, sometimes their disciple not really spend time with the preliminary practice. They are more spend time with the like a principal practice, which is no basic preliminary that much. That's the one kind of miss, we cannot jump. Some disciples are doing that as their the founder or their master or like the great founders or lineages are doing it, but they're forgetting how they do it. Yes, Marpa and Milarepa do their practice and based on like a Tantra practice, but they do Tantra practice based on Sutra practice. Otherwise, they couldn't enlighten it. As they say clearly in their textbook, they said clearly in their textbook, without preliminary practice, without Sutra practice, Tantra cannot help you to attain enlightenment. So this is actually today. Today, I thought like many have a misunderstanding that as we are Dzogchen practitioner, as we are Mahamudra practitioner, as a Tantra practice, and then Sutra practice are preliminary practice. We don't have to spend that much time. Same as like you ask, 7-limb practice, or like a sweeping your house. This is one of the preliminary practice, right? How much you do this? Instead of cleaning your room, you do like emptiness. You do Tantra practice. This is one of the natural of the human being, right? Always try to get the highest one. It's good, but without fundamental, not good, right? So we say, okay, if you what you want to do practice, if people ask, and I can say, only you do practice clean in your room as like what's called that Kashiba, that the Lamchungba, that we call Lamchungba in Tibetan. I don't know the Sanskrit name. Chudapandeka. So right, the Buddha asked to Chudapandeka, do only cleaning, only cleaning. So if we tell you to only clean in your room, this is the practice, then you will find like a, what? Do I need to always clean in my room? That is all my practice? Why not emptiness? Why not Tantra? Show clearly our human life, the natural things, right? The natural things. Same. Not some disciples of each lineages. Yes, their principal practice Tantra, even the Gelugpa, even the Sakya, even all these lineages, Tantra is the principal practice, true. Because without Tantra, we will not enlighten it. But more emphasis on Sutra, fundamental, basic, then you go to Tantra, right? So there are two things what I thought it's. One thing I just explained it. Dzogchen practitioner, Mahamudra practitioner is very much related with the Tantra practice. Their disciple, not everyone, some disciple are thinking, our principle practice is Mahamudra and Dzogchen as a Tantra practice, then we don't have to spend that much in a Sutra practice. Then they jumped. That's misunderstand what I can say it based on Buddha's Sutra, right? And another things, I'm repeating one more time, another things, each lineage are filling up which is empty spaces, which is necessary in Buddhist practitioner in Tibet. And then, each time when they try to fill up and then follow are making some kind of category, one category. Actually, it's for Tibetan people, but they make one category and then it's like it's dividing, their disciples are dividing, not the main founders are, right? So the founders, the motivation is, okay, now we're missing Tantra. We are Samacha, Chakrasambhava, right, this and that. We should bring more in Tibet. And Marpa went to India 3 times and like 4 times in Nepal. So, and as well, like Rechungpa also went to India as a Milarepa student, and Khyungpo Lhepa also went to India to bring this all Tantra practice, which we needed, and perfect time, because after Adisha built up all this Sutra practice, Bodhicitta, emptiness, teach all perfectly, then build it up the Tantra. It's perfect. And Sakya having more building up and the Sutra and Tantra based on something which we're missing. And the Gelugpa is concluding it. As I thought it. Okay, I don't know this is occur or not. Just sharing you what I thought it. Okay, any question?
I'll ask a question. So, you know, to be able to say that, you know, the changes in the different schools, and explain it in terms of kind of improvement of the Dharma, filling the gaps, the spaces, as you said.
Thank you. I learned from you. Filling the gap. That's good. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, one has to think about what it was like for the Tibetan people, right? Because, you know, this was not meant to, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was not meant to just to apply to monks and nuns. And if it was, it's totally self-contradictory. So is there a history of a social history of Tibet that, you know, can kind of link what's happening, or, you know, kind of explain what's happening with, you know, the ordinary people, you know, so that one can understand filling these gaps, not as a pure intellectual exercise and not just a practice that's restricted to monks and nuns, but that truly applies to universally, certainly to the Tibetan people. Do you understand what I'm asking?
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you summary.
Well,
yeah. These things what I taught. No.
For example, like the gaps.
No, therefore I'm saying that's totally my thought. I didn't see any book saying these things.
Okay, so there isn't. So it doesn't. So it doesn't exist.
My thought.
No. But also, you know, this, you know, teaching that you're showing us, any evolution, any splits, that does the very fact of it, right? I mean, there has to be some cause and condition to it, right? And, you know, to restrict that explanation just to kings and to scholars or monks or pandits doesn't necessarily give the story. You know, it's kind of a contained history, and it does not necessarily relate to, you know, it doesn't give a full explanation. I'm saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but what I mentioned that like a Mahamudra or 6 Dharma of Naropa and 6 cycling of equilibrizational tests, there we have a chance, like a textbook to learning this. And then Rinpoche also taught 2 times the 6 Dharma of Naropa in New York and Washington, D.C. So we do have and Rinpoche also taught the Mahamudra, right? So yeah, we do have a lot of instruction on these 3 practices.
I don't want to be too much of a troublemaker. I'll ask other people ask questions, but the Chinese government says that religion cannot be used in Tibet to talk about or to create any sort of social disharmony, right?
Yeah,
that's what the Chinese said,
yeah.
Right? And that's how the Chinese prosecute.
We respect to their perspective.
Right. So, but that's often it's not only the Chinese who say that, right? So anyway, so I just think it's I'm just kind of defending my question because I think it's interesting to maybe understand that. So thanks.
So any other?
Geshe, hi.
Hi.
Nandro practice, isn't that a preliminary practice in Kagyu?
Yes.
Now,
No,
is it, no?
Ngondro, right? The Ngondro is, they're called preliminary for individually retreat, 3-year retreat or 6-year retreat or some retreat, then they call Ngondro. But generally Mahamudra, like enlightenment, if say, I need to do Tantra practice for enlightenment, and preliminaries are all Sutra practice.
I see. Thank you. So Nandro is not like, it's not similar to Lam Rim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it or no?
Exactly same. Exactly same.
The same. Nandro and Lam Rim are the same, just two different teachers teaching it.
No, I mean like a Ngondro, what you are mentioning Ngondro, that which is like a recite to 100 like the Vajrasattva mantra, 100 prostration. These are this Ngondro, right?
Right.
This Ngondro is some individual retreat, not for enlightenment.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think I understand.
If you want to do 3-year retreat with some deities, then you have to do this 4 Ngondro.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah, Ngondro, this Ngondro is not for enlightenment. Then enlightenment Ngondro is not simple. Not simple. They talk all this refuge, karma, suffering, death, impermanent, human legend,
Right.
opportunity, all they talk.
All the same. Right. Thank you.
Okay, any other question?
Yeah, I was about the Mahamudra. There's non-tantric Mahamudra, isn't there, or not?
You can think emptiness practice is non-tantric Mahamudra practice. Yes, it is there. Because Penchen, fourth Penchen, Lobsang Chogyal, he composed one of the Mahamudra practice, most of refers to the sutra, without Tantra practice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask, at when we just started and we talked about the lineage that they would write things down and hide them and bury them, and that's how we have the Book of the Dead. At some point you said that they would try out the teachings to see if they were good or not. So they would literally just follow the teachings and see if they became better people, or how would they decide if... I'm sorry?
You asking that treasure lineages?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, while I'm talking with the chapel, I'm not hear your old question. Can you repeat the last part?
When you were talking about the treasure lineages at the beginning, when a few classes ago,
yeah,
you said
with the Nyingma lineage.
Yeah, you said that people would try out the teaching if they found the treasure and they didn't know if it was good or not. They would try them out. So how would they do that? They would just follow that and decide if they became better people, or how would
they have some individual instructions, right?
Yeah.
Written in the textbook, this time that name of the person will come and then open that treasure, and then that when some have some kind of special connection person, only the special connection person can be open it, not everyone, right? And then once times comes, they might see some sign of light or rays or some sign see in some way, and then they try to go and open it. This is how the opening the treasures are.
Sorry, I didn't understand when you first described it. Thank you for clearing it up.
I just thank you. Okay. Okay, one more question, if you have it. Okay. Looks like no one have a question. Okay, then have a wonderful night, everyone. And then I'm just announcing for who wants to learn melody tomorrow. There are like 4 people, and then the 3 people choose the 3 to 4 is okay, and 1 is not. Therefore, tomorrow I'm going to 3 to 4, and Monday I'm going to do evening 6 to 7 to the learning melody. Okay, so Chipa will send the link.
What is it that you're teaching? I'm still confused.
You will send the link.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, same link. Yeah.
What is it? What is the topic?
No, not teaching. It's like a not just we learning the melody, some kind of Tibetan the chanting melody.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Can we learn how to chant low like you?
First learn melody, then we can learn. I don't know female wise can be do this or not, but I'm not talking gender.
Chappelle, can you send it for Monday? I didn't see it.
Monday evening. If tomorrow we're not learning enough, then we can do Monday 6 to 7.
Oh, it's only tomorrow and then maybe Monday.
Yeah, maybe Monday.
All right. Chappelle, if you can send it, I'm not sure I can go, but.
What am I sending? Text?
We don't have any text. Yeah, actually text, but we will show you in a screen, and a passport and ID.
It's 3 o'clock, that's it, okay.
Gisela, are you talking about the Georgia Puja chanting?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's what I was asking. What is it called?
Exactly.
Ale